Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. Today is May 15th, 2023. We do have, we do have a quorum, and I call this meeting to order. I need a motion for the approval from the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Have a motion to approve from Rick Autry and a second from Jody. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So I guess we'll get right into it. Who does this? Kathy?
Yep.
For
she'll
Touch
get
a
most
Truck?
of 'em. Yes, sir.
All right, Kathy, tell us about Touch a Truck.
Touch a Truck, the weather worked out for us, thank goodness. It was a little scary there. It was a great turnout. Had the 500 vests and hats, ran out of those. The only thing we heard is we did get a request next year for the Touch a Truck to put all the horns in one section because of some of the displays. The horn were a little close to the other displays, but besides
Did that come from, not to interrupt you, but I'm curious, did that come from an adult or from a kid?
Two adults that actually had displays in the event.
So the kids didn't say nothing about it.
No, but some of the horns, I believe some of the kids may have got scared because they weren't prepared when they walked up and when the horn went off. I know the IMI truck scared Sheila and I. We weren't expecting it. So I think we're going to put some signs up maybe next year just with warnings, horn blowing, be prepared kind of thing. But that's the only thing that we heard as a suggestion for next year. So everything else is positive.
I think the horns are very startling. Every time somebody did that cement truck and just pull the horn, everybody's
Yeah. And I think last year when we had it, it was in the front parking lot, so everything was spread apart.
and that's, yeah.
And so, because the horns were honked last year, I think it's just because of how close they were. So we'll make sure to take that into consideration when we map out the displays next year. So,
When I used to drive a truck, my oldest son at that time was 5. And I'd bring it home sometimes, lived in the same house. He would hang on that thing until it ran completely out of air.
yep.
How can you
My
hear me?
neighbors loved me.
Oh, I was, nuh-uh. Oh, man.
Any comments about the block party?
Yes, I loved it, to tell you the truth. My granddaughter loved it. We went through everything. And then we sat under the gazebo and we had lunch, and then we went back and had dessert, and then we went back home, and she's like, "Can we go back?" And I'm like, "No, we cannot go back. We're good. We're done." But it was really fun. And I have to admit, it was the first block party I went to. So,
Okay.
and now I went to Touch a Truck last year. But combining the both was something good. That was great.
That was exactly what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, and the face painting that was free was wonderful.
And we had 3 to accommodate to keep up.
Yes, and also the make your slime for free was
Yes.
something amazing.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, how much does this cost? How much does this cost? And everything, so terrific.
Good.
And they loved it. And we're still playing with the slime on Sunday. I'm like, get that off my coffee table. But it just pulls off and there's nothing there. And it's just perfect. It was great.
Yeah, my grandson loved it. He was 3 pounds shy to jump on the bungee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. they
That
couldn't
did
do
not
it?
go over well.
Wow.
So
My granddaughter walked by it and said, I don't even want to do it. But that was
overall, as Jody said, I was going to say the same thing. I think putting the block party and the Touch a Truck together was a deal.
Good.
So you guys did good. The Parks and Rec guys were busy, just doing all kind of things, helping people. So
We did get compliments from the vendors on how well organized the guys were placing them and assisting them. So,
I even heard
Very good.
that most of the vendors made pretty decent money.
Well, I asked a couple of it because I was buying stuff,
Yeah.
throughout the whole day, and I'm like, "How are you feeling it's going?" And they're like, "This is really great. We're really getting a lot of activity, and
good.
I know my wallet was a little lighter when I went home.
right." But that's okay. That's what we want.
Right.
So, I guess we'll move on here, May and June. So we don't have anything till July 4th?
Correct. July 4th is our next event. So nothing for the month of June.
All right, well, let's talk about it. What you got lined up?
All right, gates open at 5:30. The Bueller Band, which is an 80s cover band, is performing. The music will start at 6, and then we'll have the food trucks and activities. 4th of July pretty much takes care of itself because of the fireworks, so
Do
it
you have
draws
a
the
name for the
crowd.
80s band?
I'm sorry?
A name for the 80s band?
It's the Bueller Band. They don't have one particular band that they cover. It's pretty much
Like
mix
the
of
realm of the
80s.
80s.
Correct,
Gotcha.
That's gonna be on a Tuesday.
correct.
Oh, boy, I'll be dancing.
Did everybody get that? The music starts at what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. and, you're gonna have vendors.
Just food trucks. We have food vendors. We don't have any other types of vendors. Sometimes there'll be a toy vendor with the glow-up toys that
Oh, yeah,
comes.
that's a big hit.
But
what about-
that's the only thing if it's 4th of July oriented.
You're gonna have inflatables.
We're gonna have the spider jump come back, and I've requested the obstacle course, and I've not got confirmation on that yet.
All right. Any questions? All right, we'll jump on to my favorite, so I can get out there and run, is Howl at the Moon.
All right, this year it is Friday, August 11th. We've already opened registrations, so they are now open online. We've got 4 registered so far. Check-ins at 6:30, race starts at 8 at the back pavilion at Veterans Memorial. And we are currently looking for sponsors for that event.
Can the sponsors, do they need to call or log on
We
anywhere
have
in
the
particular?
sponsor form online on the lavernetn.gov, or they could call. We've got paper forms we can send out as well. Call, email, any of the above.
So on the website, does that give you the company's incentives of why they want to?
Yes, there's a package that's attached on the website, and it shows what they get in return for their sponsorship.
Okay.
So it'll go from the back pavilion to City Hall.
Correct. And then back to the back pavilion.
How far is that? Is that a 5K? Is that a true 5K or?
It's-
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's certified.
It is certified.
You ran it before?
You're talking about being on the website and stuff. I want to stop here and give Sheila a big kudos because she is awesome on Facebook and stuff, getting that stuff out there, and it even helps remind me so I can share it. So she does a great job with that.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, Lord, the carnival.
Carnival's coming back August 24th through the 27th. Right now, we're showing weekdays are going to be open from 5 to 10 p.m., and then weekend days, noon to 10 p.m.
Same one.
Same carnival company, correct?
Are you,
So,
Go ahead.
are you doing the same incentives, like doing the giveaway?
That's not in the plans right now. Last year, it was pretty much in celebration of our 50th anniversary is why we did that
Oh, I
last
see.
year. So this year, it's just, so far, just offering the carnival to the public. It
Okay.
is 5 to 10 on weeknights and noon to 10 on weekends. I believe it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this year. So,
Do you know anything about that pricing thing? They're gonna do the same thing, or
They
do
have
we
not-
know yet?
They've not given me the pricing information yet.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it other than the understanding part of it.
I thought it was quite expensive.
I think last year maybe 4-hour increments is what they did their armbands for, I believe.
Every ride?
Well, you got the armband, and then I believe that armband was only good for 4 hours, if I remember correctly. So I'm not sure how they're gonna present it this year.
Well, last year, if the armband was good till 4 and you came at 3:30, you only got
30 minutes.
30 minutes, and then you had to pay that other price. which I know they're here to make money, but I also know that there was some confusion about it. And at the same time, if you want to plan it, you need to plan it to where you're going to be there at 12 o'clock and get your full, which I know also sometimes that's not possible, but you can't meet everyone's needs.
Right.
It's just impossible.
Right.
So you can go to the 6 o'clock maybe, and then go further. So
Yeah, that's,
3:30 or 4 o'clock and
Yeah.
go further.
that's
Yeah.
why I say it's,
Know your time.
you know, kind of, you have to plan ahead.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, that's next. Fall Festival.
All right. Fall Festival is September 15th and 16th. 15th, we are still working on the Prince Band contract, so we've not got that finalized yet. And then just the traditional parade ending in the park, 10 o'clock parade, and then the festival itself will end at 3:30. We're not going to be doing a Saturday night concert this year.
So there's no concert in the park at all?
Friday night.
Oh, there is, okay.
Right,
So
the
this is
15th.
September 15th.
September 15th, right. We're trying to get a Prince cover band right now. So we're still working on that contract, but we will have a concert that Friday night.
And just to put it in terms, in case anyone's catching this on YouTube, by the time 3:30, 4 o'clock rolls around on Saturday, especially with the heat, people are beat down and dead. The last couple of years that we have spent good money to have those bands there, the 100 or so of us that came out, we enjoyed it, but it's hard to justify to spend that kind of money for 100 people. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
So I know some people ask about it, and, you know, that's why, even though it was nice and I enjoyed it, I know you were there, Rick, everybody was there, and we enjoyed it, but to put on a big show like that and spend that money for 100, 125 people is just not
Realistic.
realistic. And like I said, at the end of the day, by 3:30, 4 o'clock, man, people are beat
Tired,
down.
they're going home.
Hot. Hot. And my favorite, man, I'm so ready for a homegrown mater. Farmers Market.
All right, Farmers Market, we've moved it to Tuesdays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. The market runs from June 6th to August 29th. We are still receiving registrations. We've got a couple in the last few weeks as well. I believe we got one of the signs out today advertising the Farmers Market as well. And we have put it on Facebook, and we'll share it again. So registrations are trickling in.
It's starting June what?
June 6th, the first Tuesday in June, and it'll
Right
go
after-
through the last Tuesday in August.
So right after Memorial Day.
Correct.
Yep.
3 to 7.
3 to 7, and it's at the same location up here at the City Hall
Yes.
complex.
That's good.
I'm excited. Always, every year.
You're always taking live videos.
Hey, when it comes to food, I get excited.
Yes, you do.
Any comments about Farmers Market? All right, we will move on to, well, our next meeting will be June the 26th. Is that right?
Because of Juneteenth,
Oh, that is right.
we had to move it to next weekend.
Can we talk about that? Juneteenth? How's that going?
She is getting the Bicentennial Pavilion here because we already had a tournament scheduled in the park by the time they locked in their date.
Okay,
So they're going to do it on the 17th, which is that Saturday instead of the 19th. They're going to get the Bicentennial area down here from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is when they're planning their event.
So when you say planning their event, what event is it?
It's a Juneteenth celebration.
Okay.
Shermille Balbalosa, did I say that right?
Correct.
She has done it a couple of years. I think she missed last year, maybe the year before.
It's 2 years, once for COVID and then once because she had to move and she's trying to get back.
I didn't-
And I know that her and Hope Oliver are working together. So we need to, that is a city-sponsored event, correct? Not this year, but we're working on it.
We are working on it. We're not officially sponsors, but we're gonna do what we can to help them out. So
We're gonna do some advertising and stuff.
I'm not 100% sure we can do that. I think we told her we were pretty much gonna be hands off that since it wasn't a city-sponsored event. We were kind of limited at what we could do. And she knew that when we met with her at the office because it was so late in the game. We weren't even sure they were gonna do anything until, probably 2 months ago. And by that time, we already had the schedule made for the summer at the park. So we couldn't see putting them in a pavilion on a, ball tournament weekend because it's just too much traffic up there for that. So they opted for this down here, which was a better option for them.
All right. Mr. Rick, got any comments, sir?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right. Mr. Giles?
No, sir. I will say Touch a Truck was a good experience for myself. I had my granddaughter out there earlier today. She had a good time.
Yep. I would concur with that because just putting both of them together, the block party and the touch, because I did the touch truck last year, and it was fun, very hot, but very fun. But this had more things going on. I mean, there was a lot there. I could hear the music. There was all these vendors. We did everything, and we were there for the full 4 hours, pretty much. We got there at 11. We didn't leave there till 3, and it was great. So, good luck. Good job. Good job.
Well, I didn't get no smoked bologna sandwich from Biggins,
Oh, so you're now not happy.
so I wasn't happy about that. It was my own fault, but that's beside the point. I'm still not happy about it.
Well, you're just following your grandson.
But as usual, you guys, Parks and Rec, do a great job. Mother Nature, as Kathy said, smiled on us. It got kind of sticky and humid, but, it's that time of year. So I want to say that I'm really glad to see the board members coming out to these events. That's always a big plus. So hopefully by July 4th, we will have another big event. So until then, I will see you all on June 26th right here in the boardroom at 6 p.m. I call this meeting adjourned.